Hey guys, how's it going? This is HTFS Ignidius here. Doing a little gameplay from a game I played the other night as a Soraka support bottom. Our team comp is as follows: we had a Rumble top, we had a GP in the jungle, we had Morgana mid, and we had an AD, Twisted Fate, and Soraka bot. I'm just going to toss this on a little fast forward here. Nothing much happens in the early game. So I just wanted to cast this game because, it was actually went pretty well. It was kind of a longer game, around 50-60 minutes, so I will be fast forwarding a lot in the early game. Get through it quicker. Like I said, nothing much interesting happens. Yeah, so this team comp we have here is me and a few of my in real life friends, all of which I've gone to school with at some time or other in the past and in school with still to this day. We're not great players. We're around around 900 and 1000 ELO. I might be the highest in the group ELO wise. I think I'm at 1100. Let's go into the other team's comp. They have an Udyr solo top. They have a Tryndamere in the jungle, which is always fun to deal with. They have a Nocturne bottom lane with us. They have Orianna mid lane and Gragas bottom lane, which kind of was interesting when I noticed that. I would have picked Gragas to go mid. That's just my personal opinion. And we have Zalk almost getting a kill in mid on Morgana there. Of course, with LoL replay, it's hard to expect anything in the form of health bars, which is fantastic. Unless they're nearby me, you can't see health bars, and the bars on the left are never accurate. Pretty average early game. Nothing much happens. Tryndamere was actually quite quiet jungler. He didn't end up ganking until much later. My friend Brian, who's playing on Gangplank, came down and visited us a few times and actually got off a few successful ganks, as you'll see coming up here. This is where things start getting bad up top, but let's go down bottom. I'll explain that in a second. Down bottom, we have me, Twisted Fate, and Gangplank. Gangplank came in for a gank. Fortunately, not gonna get anything out of this. Yeah, GP ganks aren't exactly the strongest, but he's a good jungler and he has good AoE with his ult, and that's why a lot of people pick him. So I was saying about top lane. Top lane is we have Rumble against Udyr, which is not a great matchup for Rumble's sake in the first place. But after the first kill that Rumble ended up getting, which got us netted us first blood, which is great always, things started to go downhill from there. Top lane had a few issues. I'll put this on another click. No, I'll just leave it here. CS wise, I believe we're ahead, of course, with two DPS in the same lane. They're splitting CS, of course. Little tip about playing support that I've learned and I've told a lot of my friends is you can press S sometimes, and S will keep you from CSing. So every once in a while you see me just standing like this. It's because I just walk into the bush and press S to keep from stealing CS from my friend playing Twisted Fate. It's just a little, one of those little quirky things that you learn about that, helps you out. Here I get Wish. This is a huge thing that for Soraka players to watch out for. When you have your Wish up, a lot of times I spend like this, just standing there for a second or two. I'm scanning the map always. I'm watching mid, I'm watching top. A Wish can save someone's life, and it's basically like having heal. Unfortunately, I was not watching there. That happened awfully quick. But a Wish is like basically having heal, and a lot of times you can heal bait someone if they're diving under a tower. So you just want to keep an eye on the mini map, and every once in a while just stop if your carry's doing fine, which in this case Twisted Fate's doing really good. They have no sustain, of course. I mean, Gragas has a slight heal, but it's nothing to write home about. So I'm just keeping my eyes around the map a lot of times. As you can see, Rumble's up top there, over pushing, and bad things happen. That was probably the biggest problem we had early game. As you can see, we're behind in kills, and that just ends up getting worse. We ended up over-pushing quite a few lanes. Also, with the Tryndamere in the jungle, you know, a lot of people like to forget that he has that damn ult. Here, I believe Tryndamere gets away. Anyway, back to bottom lane. As you can see, I'm screwing the other team a little bit. Gragas is tossing out ults and knocking me and Twisted Fate away, which is, you know, not the ideal situation for Gragas, not what he's trying to accomplish. We're almost dying up top again, but, you know, we're not doing too terrible. Twisted Fate's at 60 CS, 11 minutes into the game. It's pretty decent. I believe this is only one of his first games playing AD Twisted Fate. He wanted to try it, so, you know, we let him, and he actually did pretty well. We lost our first turret 12 minutes into the game. It's not fantastic. We haven't really made any postures for... Oh, yeah, there's Tryndamere jungle. We haven't really made any postures for Dragon, which, you know, kind of regret looking back. That's another thing I hate about LoL replay, is when Nocturne ults, no one can see it, because I'm the only one that has vision and it only shows a little bit around me. But if you missed that, Zulk, who's playing Morgana right there, was killed in mid by a Nocturne ult. Not much you could do about that. I believe he was trying to finish off Orianna, but didn't end up getting it. Tryndamere died underneath the turret. That's decent trade. Orianna's trying to troll us, you know. Typical community member type. Back we go into laning phases. Top lane, mid lane, doing pretty evenly. We're doing pretty well down here. If anything, we're doing better. Soraka support is so damn strong. If you see, Twisted Fate's always using pick a card. Pretty much he's keeping it on cooldown. Providing mana is so useful for someone like Ezreal, or... slow it down here. Providing mana for someone like Ezreal. So, GP came in for a gank. Unfortunately, so did Udyr. If you look at the stats now, we were 3 and 6 there in the game, and Udyr's at 4 kills. So, needless to say, he's a little fed. And Orianna showing up didn't help either. They end up getting the better of us there, thanks to Udyr, mainly. But at least I kept my carry alive, and that's what it's all about, playing support. GP dying was not the best, but, you know, there's worse things than a support dying, especially if I don't have oracles. You know, you're not really losing too much. I mean, you can see Twisted Fate, because of my heals and things like that, he gets to stay in lane, and, you know, obviously CS some more, which is always useful. Here, I don't really know what Morgana was doing. Trying to get Dragon with an ult that, I guess he almost got Udyr. That was a good thing. Dragon almost got Udyr too. But, you know. Alright, so first Dragon goes to their team. Not doing too well now. 4-9. Oh, there's another Nocturne ult. Looks like he was just bluffing. Maybe mishit a key. Who knows. My lane is... well, we both have 0 kills, but... Twisted Fate's at 87 CS, which is, you know, pretty good. Here I am, I'm stuck in lane now, by myself. He had to go back. An interesting thing Twisted Fate got was teleport, which, you know, I didn't really agree with at first. But later game, you know, like situations like this, it was really, really useful. Top lane you see is being ganked yet again. One thing GP did really well this game, really well, is kept map awareness for his ult. He nailed it quite a few times. As you can see, I used Wish on there, saved Moose Cow a little bit. I mean, it kept Tryndamere from diving. But the GP ults were just spot on for most of the game. You know, saved our lives a few times and got quite a few kills. Especially towards the late game, you see quite a few team fights won by GP ult. You can see why so many people are playing him these days, especially that he's free this week. But he's a really strong champion, just mostly because of that ult, and that's why he's so preferred in jungle. Also because of his parlay granting bonus gold. GP and Morgana get a little caught out here. Looks like Morgana's probably going to die here. You know, it's not too much I can do. My Wish is on cooldown. GP's ult is certainly on cooldown. At this point, I was telling TF to port in, to see if he could help. Unfortunately, as you can see here, I was caught by Nocturne. I didn't really stand a chance. I healed and ran away, and do I survive? Yes, I do survive. Yeah, Zalk came in here to save my ass. TF with a stun... Oh, nope, not with a stun card. And was it... No, there you go, perfectly timed stun card. I got out of that just barely. I believe that was positive. 2 or 1 for 2. Yep. Unfortunately, Rumble dies there. That was Gragas barrel to the face. There's not much you could have done about that. They ended up doing this a lot during the game, which I found kind of interesting. Is this position right here, right where I'm circling? They ended up sitting in this position and trying to toss ultimates out. Like you can see, Gragas is there. Not ultimates, abilities. Gragas is there and Orianna's there. That was a dumb move by Orianna, tanking the turret. That was not the best. And here's the power of support. Things like this. TF Abarashi was down to about 10% health when Udyr was diving him. And just by using my ult and 1 heal on him, I got him up to 50% health. And, you know, that kept him from diving and ultimately saved his life and, you know, possibly even the next team fight. Supports are really underrated. Playing Soraka, I believe I have a 75% win ratio at the time of me doing this in ranked, and that's really shows a lot about how Red Buff picking up the kill there, getting no credit for it. It really shows the power of supports in this game. I mean, if not for the heals, for the constant warding. I mean, the wards are so key. I haven't gotten to the point yet, but later on in the game you'll see once you get, you know, Philosopher's Stone and once you get a Heart of Gold, you just, you know, spam wards. And right now there's not much for map control, but later game, you know, you have the entire map in vision. And that is so key, especially when you get an Oracles on top of that too, because then you're counter-warding them and they have 0 vision and you have all the vision. It makes things like Baron and Dragon much easier to get. Here we're posturing around, we're contemplating going after Udyr. GP just wants to pick up that farm bottom. We see blue buff, not much we can do. I believe we're frantically telling everyone to get back here. It was not the greatest situation. We did have Twisted Fate use his ult to get into a better position. This is one of our team fights here. I don't believe it went too well. Yeah, Morgana got picked off by Orianna there. Orianna became really strong mid-game. Unfortunately, I don't believe I was able to save. Was I? Did I save him? No, I got picked off here by a combination of Tryndamere, and that was probably the world's worst flash right there. Don't try that at home, kids. If you're certainly dead, don't waste, you know, 200-second cooldown on flash. But, you know, Morgana and the support, like I said, support kills aren't really worth as much. I mean, they're worth the same gold-wise, but, you know, I'd much rather have TF or Rumble or GP get out alive. And Rumble did get out alive. Just barely. He's 139 HP. But they're much more important in a team fight than I am. I mean, I can toss down my heals and stuff, but I'd much rather keep them alive than myself. Another good GP ult. Oops. Another good GP ult there. Try to keep him off the tower. Udyr got a little greedy there. Fortunately, I have no ward coverage. I could toss down a CV if it's off cooldown. Yeah, Abarashi got caught. 1 tick. Ooh, just survived. Again, thanks to heals, he can stay in the fight, but he chooses to go back. I guess he had enough gold for something. And we go back kind of into a passive landing phase. As you can see here, I have Oracles, Philostone, and 3 wards. Now 2 wards. At this point, I focus primarily on, you know, counter-warding, making sure there's no wards in the dragon area, making sure we have wards in the dragon area as well. As you can see, we pick up a nice easy dragon there. You know, 390 gold and, you know, XP for 4 people. That's really excellent. Around 20 minutes or so, you kind of want to get wards. You want to start getting that map control as a support. You know, picking up the Oracles at some point, you know, and then just getting ward coverage enough. Here, Udyr kind of picked a bad spot to engage, and may have lost a team fight for him here. Udyr decided to come around the side, and I don't personally recommend that. So we follow up. Not much we can do. They have that turret up, and it's still in quite a big chunk of health. But, you know, getting that Udyr really helped. As you can see, our kill death is coming back a little bit, 10 to 14. And Udyr is now 7-3-3. This is from, you know, about 7-1. So, you know, we're starting to keep him down, and he's the real threat. Orianna at this part is, her CS is first in the game, but she only has 2 kills and 7 assists. She's not the most farmed, but she does do quite a bit of damage. You know, since they nerfed Orianna, she hasn't been getting much love from players, but she is still pretty damn strong. played well, and this Orianna was pretty damn good. She had good control, which is the hardest thing to do with Orianna. At this point, just, you know, sweeping for wards, checking bushes, keeping my teammates topped off, giving them mana, you know, keeping my eyes out to see what's going on, where are they going, what could they possibly getting. All the things a good support should be doing. That GP ult was down there for minions, I guess. I don't know if I agree with that use, but, you know, let it be. Another thing as a support that a lot of people get worried about is the XP advantage. Oh yeah, first of all this. I had the idea that they were going for this, and I pinged it, and I CV'd it, and we actually found Orianna and Tryndamere going for our blue here, which was, you know, pretty damn greedy. That's also not the best Rumble ult I've ever seen, but, you know, could be worse. We have TF poured in up here, and this is free kill at this point. I mean, that's key. We got Tryndamere, who I'm sure everyone knows can be a real pain if he gets fed, and Orianna, who is getting some decent CS, so, you know, I'm happy with that. 2 for 0, and I believe we got a blue buff out of that. Yeah, a GP had to smite it to steal it from Tryndamere, so that he wouldn't get it, or Orianna. So there you go, 3 for 0 at a blue buff. That brings us up to 13 to 14 in kills. More than happy with that. Unfortunately, Udyr is split pushing, which is, you know, not fantastic. He's getting all kinds of free CS down there. You know, we just said, I pinged turret and said, let's get this guys, might as well. All they had was Nocturne up, I knew that. Everyone else was up except for Gragas. Gragas is up in 10 seconds. But, you know, just, let's get some mid lane freedom, you know, so we have freedom to move and can toss wards about. Udyr gets really greedy. I'm not sure about this. He ended up getting 2 turrets out of it, and that was probably our own stupidity. And then flashes over a wall. And due to bad pathing on my part, this was just stupid. I don't know what I was doing. That was just so bad. That lost me in oracles, and I was not happy with that one. Yeah, due to my bad pathing, we are now way in a disadvantage in a team fight, because my wish was off. My wish was on. I could have used it, and my heal was on. I could have used that, and now we have none of those things. So, you know, you don't really want to be throwing your life away as a support. This team fight did not go fantastic. Unfortunately, due to Nocturne ult, I can't see anything, but if you look on the right side of the screen there, you can see that Tryndamere did not die. Tryndamere is in this general region at about 10% HP, and they got a triple kill out of it. They got 3 for 0. Not fantastic, you know, but it could have been worse, I suppose. Now, if you look at my items, I'm sure, you know, someone's been questioning my item build. My item build is not the best. I'm not exactly, you know, like I said, we're not pro players. Don't expect pro play from us. But, you know, I rushed Ionian Boots of Lucidity because I felt like we were having problems in the laning phase. I have a few blue cooldown reduction runes, but I don't have enough. So that's why I often go Ionian Boots of Lucidity so quickly. Because, you know, it gets you that 50% reduced cooldown, which, you know, Astral Blessing's on a 20-second cooldown standard. And now it's on a 12-second cooldown, thanks to all my runes and as my boots. Alright, so this is a team fight, you know, I was trying to egg on because Tryndamere had no ult. I knew that much because he had used it to get away from that last team fight. Unfortunately, TF is in a bad way right here. But thanks to the power of heals, he survives, I believe, and gets out of there. I stole a kill from Gangplank, not the best. I used Infuse because I panicked, because I didn't want Udyr using Bear Stance and getting away, and took the kill. Not great. Another thing I forgot to use in this team fight that would have been really key is Shurelya's. I also got a Shurelya's so quickly because we have a team like Rumble, GP, myself, and TF, which can be a lot of, you know, about orientation, about where you are in a team fight. So that's why I got the Shurelya's so quick, because, you know, in this current metagame, you know, you have the junglers and top lanes that are bruisers, and you have, you know, sometimes you have a melee mid lane, and then you need Shurelya's to get around the map quickly and get around a team fight quickly. You know, all it does is offer you a speed advantage, but that speed advantage is so key in a team fight. It really can win a team fight just from the speed bonuses. At this point, you know, we're kind of just trying to keep up pressure a little bit. We had GP go back to clear top lane, get him some more farm. At this point, we just kind of wanted to hold pressure here to, you know, keep away a team fight, which unfortunately ends up happening right here. Well, we focused Tryndamere once again, and that entirely lost us the team fight there. They went 3 for 0, and luckily Twisted Fate is most of the way out of there, and GP is just farming top. If you hold them around this area right here, in this general area, I mean, they have no control over Baron and Dragon. In hindsight, we probably should have gotten Dragon somewhere in that process of holding up that far, but you know, hindsight is 20/20, as they say. The positive side about Orianna is she's really bursty. You know, if she gets that ball on you, she can really blow you up, but she has next to no resistances. Udyr clearly is suffering from a little bit of hubris. He's getting really greedy. He's 8-4-4 now. He's been going downhill since the early phase, but you know, their team has been getting stronger. As you can see, 14-21. By the time when we were around blue buff there, when we caught Tryndamere and Orianna, we were about even. Now we've fallen significantly behind. It's not a pleasant situation. We're all on Skype. We're all kind of upset about this. You know, Udyr is pretty fed. We were not happy with Rumble for the early game. But, you know, 4-8-3 on Rumble is not too bad. His CS is not fantastic, but 2-6-6 on Morgana is okay with that CS, kind of CS. Twisted Fate's 2-1-8 with 133 CS, and GP is just doing ridiculous, 5-2-3 with 148. He already has Atmogs and a Wriggles as well. So he's clearing that jungle super fast. Unfortunately, he's not putting any Wriggles lanterns down, which would have been nice and would have helped me out a bit. Unfortunately, at this point, I didn't buy any wards. I must have just had to get that Heart of Gold, and I just had enough gold, so I didn't have enough gold for wards. And that kind of was not a great thing for us. I also don't have an Oracles at this point, so you know, we were kind of posturing around Baron, hoping that they had a ward there. And then we told GP to try to bait them into our Bush of Doom, as we called it, right here. They're not dumb. Who knows, they probably had a ward in there, and they're probably just laughing at us this entire time. But, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Without wards, without that Oracles, you really don't know what you're running into or what you're setting up. Here I popped Shirelia's to help out GP, and stole a kill from him. Once again, I got panicked and tried to use a, infuse the silencer, and ended up killing her in the process. Unlucky, especially seeing that it only does 250 damage. I mean, that's kind of significant, but we got a double kill out of that. Only killed me. I didn't have Oracles, so I'm not unhappy about that at all. But this is when things start getting weird. We notice Udyr down here, completely abandoning his team in a team fight, which is unexpected because of how fed he is. But he's coming down here and split pushing most of the game. Probably not the best play by TF. Probably would have played with a few more stun cards, but you know, he is pretty damn fed. And this is where Rumble starts to redeem himself. You know, saves his tower with only 320 health, ends up pushing the wave back. You know, Udyr's down for 46 seconds now. That's really good. Without Udyr, it's a lot safer to take things like Dragon. It's a lot safer to take things like Baron. Just speeding the back up here. Not much is happening for a little while here. About 30 minutes into a game, we've been getting a lot of the dragons. I think we have all of them except for one. I'm not sure, though. I haven't been keeping track. Baron is something we should have really tried to go after sooner. They didn't have ward coverage. We didn't have ward coverage. And speaking of ward coverage, don't do that. CV before you walk into some place like that. I was trying to ward right there, and I almost walked into a really bad situation. Luckily, I got out of there just in time. Team fight here, forced them back, weakened Gragas quite a bit. Gragas is pretty much their weak point. He went 3 Dorans, which, you know, is famously remarked as the poor man's Rod of Ages, but then he proceeded to build a Rod of Ages, which I don't know if I really agree with. If you're going to build a Rod of Ages, I'd just probably get Catalyst instead of 3 Dorans. Either way, he did alright. A lot of his ultimates were misplaced, and that lost them a lot in the laning phase. At this point, we have sufficient ward coverage. I have 3 more wards there in my inventory, so I say let's get this. You know, we have, they're all weakened, they're all not around here, we can see that. We can see up the hill there as well. But we're still a little nervous here. I told GP to keep up his smite here and make sure that he was keeping on it. Seeing the 2 of them in mid was comforting because we know they aren't anywhere nearby. You know, smite this, we get it, no problem. So we start moving out here with Baron buff. You know, we got to make something happen with it. We try pushing mid. Let's fast forward just a little bit. I think Udyr just realized, and you can see him turn around and run away. I'm taking CS for my carries, which, oh well. I guess they'll survive missing a couple CS. The biggest thing with Baron is, you know, you all get a 380 gold, which is absolutely fantastic. You all get a ton of experience. But Baron buff is only so limited, and it's so strong, you need to do something with it. We're posturing around mid here, we're not getting anything. We see Udyr down here, as you can see we just pinged it, and we see he's going back for this turret. So we have to kind of try to make our mind up about what we want to do here. Udyr's pushing bot, unfortunately. Oh, he did actually teleport in. That's strange. Well, he's teleporting in on the tower, and the tower died. But, you know, we have to keep him away, but at the same time, we need to make something happen. We need to get something out of this. GP saves our ass. Once again, saves me and his ass. That could have been really bad without a GP out there, because we had 4 of them right on us. Not to mention Udyr's down bottom. Luckily for us, Rumble looks like he might get him here. Might. Yes. Yes, he gets him. 1-on-1. No assists, unfortunately, for Twisted Fate, who I'm sure would have appreciated one. Still, it's a good kill. GP got a Thornmail after his Atmogs, mostly to deal with Udyr especially. Mostly to deal with Udyr and Tryndamere, who, as everyone knows, are very scary AD carries. Luckily for us, we kept Trynd down. Right now, he's 2-3-9 with 153 CS. He could be doing a lot. He could be doing a lot better for Trynd jungle. We were fortunate enough to have that. Not sure what Gragas's thought process was here. He kind of decided to run the long way. And that was good, because at this point we have Baron buff, we've gotten 2 kills out of it, we've gotten Udyr, and we've gotten Gragas for free. Absolutely for free. So we decided to push mid. Unfortunately, due to Nocturnal, I can't see much, but we got Nocturne, so that's 3 for O with Baron buff. Now we have all 5 of us here on their doorstep, so I say, alright, let's just push it, and we're going to wait for minions. Nope, Udyr's back up now, so we're going to back up. I say, let's take top tower, it's free, there's not going to get here in time, so we all move up the top tower, take it. And do we get Udyr in the process? Do we? Yeah, pop Shurelya's, you know, dreadfully late. So late. But we got top tower and we got Udyr again. As you can see, Udyr's now 9-7. He's just been going significantly downhill. Pretty decent Gragas ult. Unfortunately, with Soraka heals, there's no way for them to follow it up on it. Keeping my heal on cooldown at all times during a team fight. Another important thing to remember about heal is that it grants a significant amount of armor. 125 bonus armor, which is absolutely obscene. I think it'll bring someone like Twisted Fate, who has 41% reduced physical damage, to something like 80% reduced physical damage. So when someone's jumping on him, like Nocturne or Tryndamere or Udyr, if you toss that heal on, it'll pretty much negate all the damage you're doing. Not to mention, you know, heal them for 350, which is insane. This is why I love Soraka so much as a support. In my opinion, one of my favorite supports right now. Once you get a hand of the ult and using the ult well in the laning phase, she's a really great support. Unfortunately, no hard CC like Sona, but, you know, with Shurelya's, you don't really need it. And that's just my opinion, though. Still have Baron... Oh, Baron buff actually just faded. You know, we kind of still want to make something happen out of this. We want to work down all 3 lanes equally. Just, you know, get an even advantage. You know, at end game, we want to have 3 inhibitors down and try to push. I don't know about GP's chase here. Didn't actually get anything out of it. Yeah. I stole another kill. I don't know how I got that one. Probably Bananas of Doom, as I like to call them. Soraka's 117 AD, Bananas of Doom. But either way, we're in a good position. We got Tryndamere out of that. We got Tryndamere and Gragas out of that for just Rumble. That allows us to push this tower, I believe. You know, pretty much uncontested. The other one who's up right now that threatens us is Udyr and maybe Orianna. Nocturne was kept down in the laning phase well enough, at least, that we don't have to worry too much about him. Moving on through this game, we have Twisted Fate, we have 4 of us here. We're trying to keep an eye on the map. Top lane is getting kind of overrun right now, so we all just decided to be, you know, I have 2,500 gold. I'm sure a lot of other people had gold too. Just buy items. At this point, I finish up my Aegis of Legion. I get Oracles, Lantern, I guess they're calling it now, and I get a ton of wards, 8 wards, to go out with and ward around. I know Baron's going to be up within a minute or two, not exactly sure. So you want to keep tossing wards around, like in this area here, or here, or in Baron Pit, things like that, so you have an idea of where they are around there. Like, see that ward right there? That's one of my favorite spots for ward when you're going for Baron. Just in time, we got there just in time for it to pop up. Unfortunately, they must have had a vision ward up top, so I couldn't toss a ward up there. They're all poshing around here, as you can see, as CV revealed them all, and I don't really know why they backed up there. They must have been really afraid. All except Udyr, who's, constantly trying to push. But the CV made them all back up, which was kind of interesting. We could have taken Baron there, probably. They didn't have any more ward coverage, thanks to my oracles. There's no wards there. They couldn't see anything. They had no clue what point Baron was at, and they couldn't ult in either. That's what we were mostly afraid about, was Gragas ult and Barrel and Nocturne ult as well. I mean, that can do a huge burst of damage. Unfortunately, at this point, Udyr ran straight bottom after we chased him off and killed that inhibitor off, and that's going to prove to be a thorn, because they're gonna have super minions now in that lane, and when we're pushing mid a lot like we are, it's a pain in the ass. Now, Udyr fail flashed. Luckily for us, is he gonna get away? I don't know. I'm with this team fight, but I have no Shurelius, so yeah, he's gonna get away. I don't know why TF flashed here, but whatever. So no harm, no foul, I guess, on it for us. I mean, we lost an inhibitor, which sucks, as you can see. It's going to start with this wave. You're going to have super creeps. Orianna there, I don't know what she was doing. She got picked off so bad. And that just led to all sorts of bad things. At this point, I'm saying to our team, let's Baron, but GP says he wants to get one more person. Eventually, I toss down a ward there and check for Vision Ward, and we decide the Baron. There's not much contest. They tossed a ward down there. I thought Nocturne was going to ult, and I was really worried. But, nothing happened. It was fine. We have a second Baron buff in a row. That's 380 gold once again. That's a huge buff for all of us for the duration. And now we're going to try to make something out of it again. Our main focus right now is we want to get down Udyr, and then we want to get down Orianna second in a team fight. No one else really worries us too much. So dropped a GP ult there. I'm not sure about that. GP ult's on about a 60-second cooldown. He does have Ionian Boots of Lucidity, but it's still on a pretty long cooldown. But either way, we end up getting this inhibitor out of it. Thanks to my heals, he's at nearly full health the entire time. Is Orianna get it? Nope, Orianna flash. Okay. We're going to get a free inhibitor out of this as well. Unfortunately, if we look bottom, we see Rumble's gone back to deal with Udyr. If laning phase is anything to go by, this is not going to end well. But we are going to manage to get an inhibitor out of this. Yes, we are. And Rumble's going to try his best. At this point, we said, Rumble, try to stay back at base and deal with Udyr to the best of your ability. With 3 super minions beating on him and Udyr beating on the tower at the same time, I don't think it stands much of a chance. Unfortunately, he overheats there, which is not great for his damage. As you can see, the tower's dead now. Rumble's at about the same HP as Udyr, and that just doesn't bode too well. Top lane, we managed to get an inhibitor, which is, we were pointing that out, saying we have to get that inhibitor. As you can see, I say Ryan stay at base, because I was hoping that he could hold off Udyr. Unfortunately, he overheats here, and that's the end of Rumble. But we have 2 inhibitors now. I like that, because it forces someone to stay back at base pretty much to deal with super minions. As you can see, we're all being back. We're all scared shitless right now, because Udyr is just knocking on the doorstep. This tower's going down super quick, as you can see. Luckily, we all got back just in time to deal with Udyr. Thank God for GP ult. Basically killed him by itself, and just in time to save the tower at 150 HP. Nocturne ult, I'm not sure what that is. I think it's somewhere around mid. Yep, there we go. Abarashi on very low HP, thanks to Wish. There's no chance of him dying. He makes a very smart move here, which I did not understand at first. He walks right by Dragon, as you can see. Or maybe this is another point in the game. Alright, well, anyway, he goes back to base immediately because he knows he has to. We have to clean up top lane. Fortunately, top lane got out of hand. This inhibitor is fine, though. And we have super minions pushing mid, and we have super minions against super minions bot. Luckily for us, our inhibitor will be up fairly soon, and that shouldn't really pose too much of an issue. Unfortunately, we do have 2 inhibitors that are exposed for us, but they also have 2 inhibitors that are exposed for them, plus a top tower that's, you know, it's much easier to get than a mid tower. Fast forward in here a little bit. We're in the very late game at this point. Gangplank says let's go for last minute Baron push, because as you can see our Baron buff is running out. I got a mana manipulator to try to help out in a team fight, because mana's been an issue with Zalkamar, Porta Cup, as well as TF, and I can't give them all mana, unfortunately. So I grabbed that. It's it's a decent late game item. You can build it into a Soul Shroud at some point. Our inhibitor is up, so this is when we say, alright, let's make something of this. We have Baron buff for like another 30 seconds or so. We have 3 inhibitors up, and as you can see, we have huge waves going bot. We have a pretty big wave going top. We said, let's make something out of this and try to push, for some kind of win here. Unfortunately, they're all up, which is not fantastic, but we do have the advantage here as far as minions go. I say we should posture around top tower here. Everyone gets up there just in time. Not the best Gragas ult. That's a great GP ult, by the way, because as you can see, they're forced to path all the way around this, or risk taking damage. That was a really good Orianna ult to counter our really good ults, and this is when we just get caught out. Zalk is forced to run this way, TF is forced to run this way, and I'm forced to run this way. I make kind of a smart, kind of a dumb move. I shouldn't have probably... I believe I flash here. No, I just bait them. As you can see, there's 5 of them here attacking me, and because of that, Zalkamar and TF can get back to base safely. This is where TF makes a smart move. He B's right here. This is like a really good spot, or right there, actually. This is a really good spot, because if you walk by, you might only see him for a second, but if you're all the way over here, you're not going to see him, because there's all kinds of line-of-sight things going on here. Things like that, like I took my death there, kind of on the chin, against 5 people, and I walked the other way to try to distract them away, because I knew, if we got ace there, we'd be in a really bad situation. Typical Tryndamere gets away, even with Ignite, 100 health, no big deal. Luckily we get Udyr, who's been the main threat for split pushing. But thanks to my turning around and running the other direction, I gave Zalk and Abarashi playing TF enough time to get back to base and, protect it from Tryndamere and Udyr. Udyr's down for 50 seconds, which is really nice for us. Unfortunately, we do not have Baron buff anymore. It ran out a little while ago. But if you look back at base, we have 3 inhibitors down. Gragas, Orianna, and Nocturne are forced to stay back at base pretty much full time, because as you can see, even with them fighting it off, they're pushed all the way up due to those super minions. So we say, okay, let's capitalize. Udyr's down for another 20 seconds. Let's see if we can make something out of this. So we all end up pushing up. Gangplank says push to win. Rumble says charge. I say charge indeed. We get into a team fight here. Good Gangplank ult. Fairly good Gangplank ult. Fairly good Rumble ult, actually. Got us Nocturne, no problem. We move on to Gragas. I don't believe I popped. Do I pop Charlie's? Anyway, we get Gragas. That's great. We have 2 of them down. Unfortunately, we get a little greedy and we try to get the tower here. I'm not at the team fight yet. No one waited for me. Sad face, forever alone. So I couldn't save Porta Cup here. I used both my heals on him, but I could not save him. Then TF goes down, and then things really turn south. They're just melting. They're absolutely melting. Moose Cow goes down, Zalk goes down after popping his Zhonya's, and I start running the hell away. I wanted to flash over that wall. Fortunately realized I didn't have the range, and we get aced. 52 minutes into a game, we're all down for 50 seconds. But look, what is this? We have a ton of super minions. There's only 3 of them up right now, Orianna, Tryndamere, and Udyr. I don't know where Udyr is at this point. I think Udyr's down trying to split push. But look at this. This is amazing. All of us are down for 50 seconds. At this point, we're just yelling and screaming on Skype about how close this is. And we end up winning the game, having been aced at the 52-minute mark, and come back to win the game. Like that. We ended up behind, I believe it was 29 to 33 in kills, and we still won the game. Really close game. I don't know, I thought it was really awesome. Hope you guys like it. First cast ever, so be nice. And I'll see you guys later.